Hello, welcome back to Gentoo Rescue. Yesterday we left off in the middle of the well, we did the first half-ish of the puzzles in Liftoff, and half remain. I just before starting the video, I looked around briefly to see if there were any of these that I could immediately see how to get to. These in the middle, I'm not so sure about yet, but I believe I can get to this one if I send green there. And yellow like this. Countdown. So obviously I can like launch one of them into another, but then I'm left with these two and no obvious way for that to work out, right? I can send two of them into each other too. Like this should kill two. No? Oh, wait, really? Oh no, okay. I was confused. I thought that blue was getting launched and green was taking its place, but no, green is just jumping over blue, and then blue gets like, you know, moved a little bit graphically, but doesn't actually change. Okay. So we can do that, but it's not anything. Well, I probably have to use some of these canes, huh? Let's say I grab this one. Because, like... What does winning eventually look like here? I guess I could like if I had someone go here, then well, let's start like this, I guess. Red could kill him while coming up here. And then red still has a cane. But he can't get to anywhere where green can push him. Like, the end state has to look like someone with a rocket launching away from some other walrus, with or without a rocket, probably without, into a direction that doesn't have a cane. Right? So who can launch in a direction? Maybe no. This can't accomplish anything. No. Don't forget that... No, I guess that doesn't matter. I was going to say, don't forget that the rockets still work if you're in weather. But there's no way for me to get to weather and still have a rocket at the moment that I can see. Well, I mean, I guess there is. I could do that, right? But that doesn't really help, because green can never die now. Even if red, like, went here, and green could kill red. But green is stuck. So, what moves are we starting with here? It seems likely one of the three walruses has to start by going and grabbing a cane. I would be surprised if the first move were just to, like, get rid of one of them, like this, right? It's not impossible, but it seems unlikely that that would be the answer. There's obvious asymmetry between the three walruses, but I don't know how to use that to tell, like, which one of them is uniquely best at going and getting a cane, right? They obviously all can go get one. And, like, red's the only one who can get one on the top row, but either of them can get one on the bottom row. But these two still aren't symmetrical, because blue can get this one and green can get this one, and there might be a difference between those, right? So, I mean, if I had to guess, symmetry would suggest that maybe red should be the one to go grab a cane. Because he's the only one who can get a single cane here. Whereas if one of these guys goes, they're going into a 2-cane area. Is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. But either one of them could sort of do it. Well, So suppose I could get, like, blue here, which I can do. If I then sent green like this, I'd be in great shape if I could somehow teleport red to right here. He could move south with a rocket on his back and go there. But I can't get him here because he has a rocket. Well, because he doesn't have a cane, I guess. I can send him to go get a cane, but then neither of them can really move the other, and we're definitely stuck. Alright, so what does the ending state look like? That's a common question I ask myself for these puzzles, and sometimes it's helpful, and sometimes it's not that helpful. I need a walrus who has a rocket to make the last move, because they have to free themselves. I think that's fairly uncontroversial. I believe that this move also has to move another walrus to launch them, because I don't see how I could eliminate two of these guys while still having this one, a third one, in a position to eliminate itself. Certainly I can eliminate two of these guys, no problem. But I have to do that by using the rockets on both of them. And then the third walrus is left with no way to get to a collision with a rocket. So I think I need to have one of these guys eliminate himself. Well, not necessarily. I need to have one of these guys eliminate one of the two. Like one of the three walruses will be left at the end. We'll arbitrarily claim that that's green, but that's subject to change. Then I need one of red and blue to eliminate one of red and blue. But it doesn't have to be itself, right? Red could eliminate blue if red had a cane, rocket, but was trapped in weather. Is that possible? Sure, we looked at doing it like this. But then, how is red eliminated? Red can blow up green. But then red is stuck. So, onto what spaces can I ever move walruses? I think, in particular, this one and this one are not a place I can ever put a walrus. Because there's no place someone could stand next to them and fire a rocket. Because you can't even get to these two spaces while still possessing a rocket. You could stand here, maybe, somehow. Like if green were left alone and blue could somehow get here. I don't see how he could, but let's say he could. But green still couldn't, like, push him anywhere meaningful. You can only push him into this, which wouldn't kill him. So I think these two squares are certainly off limits ever. And I think these corner squares are pretty bad as well, right? Because how could I ever get to them? Maybe I could get to, like, this one. But I couldn't do that while still having a rocket. I'd have to, like, stand here, basically, and launch. Yeah. I think the final launch needs to be vertical. Right? Like someone standing here. Let's say green. I mean, this is interesting, actually. I can launch either of them this way. But I can launch blue and one of the other two. A single rocket-powered move. This is an interesting invariant, I think. Or constraint. A single rocket-powered move can eliminate, at most, 2 walruses, right? I think that's true. You can eliminate the walrus who moved, and whoever was behind him can be squeezed into a spot he can't reach. He can't fit into. But you can't get anyone else. So, if one walrus is eliminating 2 as the final move, we need another walrus to eliminate 1 with its first move. Well, with its rocket. So I can only ever give a cane. I don't know if this leap is quite justified. I think maybe I can only ever give a cane to 1 walrus. Because 2 of them need to use a rocket to move at least once. But of course, all of them need to use a rocket to move at least once, right? Blue can't go get a cane without using his rocket to move down there. So, what if we did this? Had Blue launch Red using a cane, a rocket, while picking up a cane. Right? Now, if only I could get this last cane, we'd be kind of set. Green could launch himself upward. So maybe this is why I need Green to be the one who gets canes. How did I do this? Red went up and grabbed something for Blue to shoot him with. Okay, I want to keep this in my undo history, basically. Okay. Now, can I do the same thing with Green? It's less clear, right? Because in going here, to launch Green, you have to take away Blue's rocket without killing him. And Red is not in a position to go follow up. I don't really think that works. What if Blue went down to get something? This looks very similar. Yeah. What if Red went down? Well, one of these guys could go up, I suppose. But then they can't collect any other canes. So this seems kind of like a uniquely good first move for some reason. Oh, what about this? Yeah, there we go. I don't know why I just never considered walking into Weather Cloud to pick up a cane when I already had a cane. Right, Blue has a rocket. Very funny. So how do I've solved one level in 20 minutes. How do I get to these levels? Well, I could get to one of them. Can I get Red involved as well somehow? Not super easily, I think. Let's do Diffusal. Can barely tell yellow and green apart. What is this level even trying to do? All 3 penguins have to reach their goal area. The obvious way for green to get to his is to go pick up this cane and move south. Might not be correct, but it's obvious at least. The bomb, I think, is just an obstacle. Well, no, that's not quite true, is it? What if... Let's say red just like... Well, no. Yeah, what am I saying? Of course, I mean... I'm just imagining if I somehow, like, got green over here with the cane and then picked up the rocket, it would move me like this, but then instead of blowing up, I would get the bomb, and maybe that would be useful. I don't think that's actually useful, but it's a way that the bomb could be something other than an obstacle. I feel as though if I could get green the cane with all of the other items removed from the grid, I would have an easy win, right? Green would go up here, then come down, and you could easily shepherd. Other animals can easily get to the top row by just going like this. Green could put a backstop behind red, and could put a backstop here so yellow doesn't go all the way to the top. Okay, this teleporter would be a mild issue. But you could send yellow, like... Green could stand on his own goal when yellow went this way. Then down here, and green could stop yellow from going all the way over. Or just here, down, and then back up to here. Yeah, you could do that. And then put a backstop here. So the question is, how could you do that? Right? Yellow... The rocket on yellow's goal is very conspicuous, right? It makes it impossible for yellow to stop where he's going. We don't have any items that let you move, like stop moving on top of a rocket. We could pick up the cane, but then when you picked up the rocket, you'd lose the cane. And so you would once yellow or whoever got to yellow's goal, they would immediately get launched. They would have to keep moving until they hit an obstacle and then or water, and then they would be launched. So the only way you can pick up this rocket without being killed is to move westward with it into this teleporter so that you get to this bomb, I think. But how could you move westward onto this? You would need yellow here, which seems patently impossible. Well, someone here. Okay, it could be someone with a cane, I guess. But then how does... Then they have to drop their cane to pick... So, like, we could do this, for example. We've picked up all the items. But now, how do you go win, right? You can't... you can't get to these spaces without a cane. Even if one of the other animals has a cane, I don't see how you can get east of here and then go west. You have to do it with a cane. So we have to actually get here without a cane? That seems ridiculous. But you could bump into someone who's stopped here. The cane boy could be standing there for a while. And how would you get to here? Okay, for starters, is it possible for green to get the cane? Because it seems like it's only easy for red to do it. There's no way for red to get out of green's way without picking up this bomb, which I need for later. So red kind of, it seems like, has to go up here. And I mean, we can line them up here, I guess. This ending position, I think, is instructive. Because if we're going to have our animal with the cane pick up the rocket, which seems like has to happen, the other animals need to be more or less ready to leave, right? And this animal needs to be able to leave basically on its own. Which it can only do by moving north through here and getting stopped there. So I think it actually has to be yellow who gets the bomb. If we can have red standing here and green, say, here, then yellow could come barreling out of here with a rocket, grab a bomb, stop here. Then they could go down right, bump into green who's standing here, up, bump into red, be happy, and then green could go zloop and leave. So I think that's sort of how it has to work. We have to get yellow, the bomb, and the rocket, and the cane. How do you do that? Well, do all of those things have to be true? I think so. I still think it's only possible for the animal with the cane to get the rocket. Because the rocket has to be picked up heading west. From the east of the rocket, which is here. And there's no way to stop here without a cane. Yeah, so maybe this whole puzzle seems like it's about getting Yellow the cane. Now that I've finally worked out what has to happen after everything. What remains of the puzzle is getting Yellow the cane, I think. Let me just confirm for a moment. Let's imagine I could get Yellow to here. With these two not moving at all. Could I then win? Well, it's less clear. I could get Yellow here. But how do I get Red to be the one to bump into them? I guess I can get Green out of the loop by having them move like this. Yellow stop them by standing here, so Green stops here. Now Red can join the loop. Green can follow in line behind him. So Yellow stops Red here. And also makes sure to stop Green here. Oh, Green has stopped himself there. Then Yellow picks up the thing, goes blue, blue, blue. Up, and then, yeah, that would work. So if these two stayed where they were and Yellow got the cane, I would win. Now, that's not the way to get the cane, but it does confirm that Yellow having the cane gives you a lot of of pieces of the puzzle, so to speak. So, how can we get the cane? I mean, it doesn't seem like Yellow can do it, I gotta say. Because we either have to launch from somewhere along this column straight up, or, well, I guess that is what we have to do. There are various ways we could get there. One would be to start there, like Green and Red do. They could just go up. The other would be to travel eastward until you hit something that made you stop. But nothing can be over here stopping you without getting the cane first. And we're trying to figure out how to get Yellow the cane. So I don't think you could do that. So it seems like it has to be someone on one, like a space on... someone who's already in this column has to go pick up the cane. But I've also proven that it has to be Yellow who picks up the cane. And those are obviously contradictory statements, so I'm wrong about one of them. Pardon me, choked a bit on my drink there. Yeah, like Yellow can't get here, right? That's crazy. How could he do that? Maybe if like Red went and got this bomb first, that could somehow help, although I don't see it. No, I don't know. I've proven it has to be Yellow who does it, and I've also proven it can't be Yellow who does it. Something's wrong. What is it? Tell me. Yeah, I know. By collecting the bomb. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Yes. That's been what I've been operating under this assumption. Tell me more. How can Red get home? It can't end with a cane, because the animal that gets the cane has to... Yeah, well, right, because... Red has to get to home by the animal with the cane standing here, and then red going like this. And I mapped out how to do that if we could get someone here, or if we could get someone with the cane. Okay, let's think a little more. Is there some reason why, like, why couldn't green be the one to get the cane? I think the reason is because how would yellow win? But I guess maybe green could be here to let yellow go this way, and then later here to let red go that way. But then green is hemmed in. One of those two has to get here first. And green has to be on the right for both of them. So one of them, when the one that gets there last comes in, green would be trapped, right? Also, we have to pick up yellow's the rocket from yellow's home before yellow goes home, of course. So the animal with the cane has to move left from here while there's no one there, and then I won't have a cane anymore. So the way for yellow to get home is to move up from here, which I already talked about. And I think yellow needs to have been the one that had the cane, but I can't figure out how to do it. Yeah, I know. Red can't get the cane. It says with green. I thought, okay. I thought, like, obviously I can pick it up with green, and I have done so in some line, although I no longer remember how. I guess like this? But I thought that I couldn't get yellow home with green having the cane. But I can. I can, right? So, okay. I have to get red home first, which means we need yellow out of the way. And where did I say I need yellow to be? When cane... Well, I thought it was going to be green who was going to have to be there, but I guess it's yellow. When Cane Boy comes out of here, he's going to get to there. And then here. And then I need... Then I need yellow to go up this way. But I don't need the cane to cause that to happen, right? I just need to do this. Yeah. I was too focused on trying to get yellow the cane because I thought I had proven it needed to be yellow who had it. But it works also with green. I think if I could have gotten either than the cane, I would have been fine. Like, if I could have somehow gotten yellow, you could win that way. But it's just not possible. And I thought I proved that, right? I proved that, yeah, yellow can't get the cane. But I also incorrectly proved that if green gets the cane, I can't win. So I needed to spend more time on that, I guess. Now, I don't even know how to get to these last two puzzles. Is this... Do I have to be doing this right now? Can I go do a different puzzle? No, this is pretty much it. So, one way to get to this puzzle would be to have 3 walruses all aligned on this row going west. One stops here, one stops here, one stops here. It can't be the guy with the rocket. I don't even know what this guy with the rocket is doing for me. Oh, you know, maybe he is doing something. What if I did this? Now I can get a walrus here, which means I can get a walrus here. Still not sure about this one, but I can take a look at balance. Hammers, rockets. You, I feel like we'll have to do this eventually, won't you? And yet, I equally need this to happen. There's 2 uses of this that are both mandatory. So obviously I'm wrong about one of them. What did that rocket even accomplish? How do I... No new discoveries needed. Anyone who gets the rocket, it seems, must necessarily be traveling east. And was going to fall off and die anyway, so grabbing a rocket and dying doesn't seem that interesting. Yeah, of course. So, I mean, you could do this, but that doesn't really help. What are some things we can say that must be true of any possible solution? Well, we can say that blue and red must be in their homes, and yellow must have escaped. That's kind of the definition, but I guess it could still be helpful. How can blue get to their home? They cannot be moving north when they get there, because they would necessarily continue. Well, is that true? Yeah. Like, if someone could stand here and fart on them with a rocket, they could get to here moving north and stop. But there is no cell here. So the only way blue can get here going north is starting from here, which they'd have to do themselves, and then they'd fall. So they can't get there from the north. They have to get there from the west. But it doesn't have to be from here, I suppose. They could maybe, like, come from this square if you did something like this. and then got the walrus here. Not sure how you would, but maybe. Then you could go down to here, stop, and turn east. I mean, I think it's true that red must hit someone with a hammer who's standing here. I think it's hard to argue that that is false. Because how else can red moving east stop somewhere? They have a hammer. They just can't stop anywhere except where someone is. But I suppose maybe somehow they could hit someone with a hammer who's standing here, come down like this, and somehow get to this square and then go up. Maybe. It's hard to imagine. And we're being presented such a lovely, lovely partial solution as this. It's so easy to get yellow to this square so red can hit them. So easy that you would never consider another approach. But obviously this is a dead end. Blue can never escape. So those certainly can't be the first two moves of the puzzle. What if we did like this? Is that anything? I've kind of swapped blue and yellow now, in a way, I think. If I could get yellow to stop here, blue could come down, hit them, and go home. But how could yellow stop here? Blue would have to be here, and if blue were there, we'd be trapped. Wouldn't we? Well, maybe not. What if blue then got back out of the way? The problem is the point of this was to get yellow here while blue was up there. So that he could get over here without crossing over this thing. But I don't know. This seems like a promising start. I need... I mean, I think red has to hit someone here, and that someone has to be yellow. So I need to get yellow to here without breaking this. If I do that, blue can come down and back around, right? So how could I get yellow up here? If I could get them... Like, I could do this. I've done this before. Get them in this column. But... I've swapped the two of them, how nice. It just makes things worse for me, right? Like, I need yellow in this column, but I also need blue here, so yellow can turn when he gets to this space. So I need both of them in this column? That's crazy. I can't do that, can I? While still leaving this uncracked? I don't see how I could do that. I'm feeling frustrated today. It took me a long time to make any progress on this first puzzle or two. Yeah, red has to reach that by hammering. Or by coming up from the south, which I did talk about, but I did not really give serious consideration to. Maybe I should think more about that. Right, because if I did this... I had some way of getting yellow on this column, didn't I? I mean, get real. I can't come up this way. Can I? Maybe if I could arrange for yellow and blue to be like here and here, then I could go like this shape. What? I did not think of that possibility. So red hits blue into the rock. Oh, we can watch it in slow-mo. No, right alt doesn't work. It has to be left alt. Bong, get the rocket, launch red backward. So if I could just replicate that with yellow being here, that's a way of reaching this goal I did not consider at all, even when prompted to consider ways of reaching the goal. So how can yellow get up here? I don't know. I feel like that's what I've been trying to do this whole time, and it has not worked. Right, like this isn't doing anything. So anyway, that explains what the rocket is for. So what about this square? I can cross it once, and it clearly seems like it has to be for this purpose. Having done that, blue will not be eligible to catch yellow on this column to go upward, I don't think. Because the only way yellow could bump into blue now would be to cross over this broken tile. So we have to get yellow to this column without breaking this tile, I think. Which means this. And this. And this would just be an undo of a previous move, so it's useless. So we have to do this. Yellow going up is impossible, so we have to do this. Blue going left here seems bad. I don't see how you would ever rescue him. So yellow would have to go left next. Then, I mean... yellow could go up or down as much as he likes, but it doesn't really do anything until blue comes back down. Yellow could then go here. Ah, right. I knew I'd gotten yellow up there at some point. I think I had. But I didn't realize getting him here was good enough. I tried to get him... I wanted to get him here, and I couldn't. But this actually works. Okay, good clue. Good hint. So, I don't know how to get to this one. And I also don't know how to solve the puzzle. Well, maybe we could solve the puzzle today and then get to this last one some other time. I don't even know how to do that. Like, there's not that many rockets left. I clearly have to pick one up with somebody, but how? I don't need a discovery, right? Right. So I have a total of 3 rockets to wipe out 4 walruses. So at least one rocket has to take out 2 walruses. I don't think it can be blues. I think blue basically exists to act as a wall that can nudge somebody once, like we did earlier. Like this, right? I could get green there. We had a different approach that was more useful where I pushed someone from here to here. I don't remember exactly how. Oh, I guess it would be like this, except it couldn't be yellow. So I'd have to put green here. No. Yellow here first, and then green like that. And now blue can do this, right? Oh, actually, could I arrange for another seal to be standing here when blue does that? Because then they could get fragged. Or launched, I guess. And then I could have a seal here and here to launch themselves into these last two rockets. So if I could just go from the position I have now and teleport yellow or red here, well, red specifically, I guess, I would win, I think. And I can get one of them there, but I don't know if I can get it there while preserving the other constraints I had. Right? How does yellow get to this rocket? Can't. But I think that's kind of generally what the solution has to look like. Get walruses here, here, and on this row. And one of these two can help the other, but they can't both help each other. Right? I could do this and have green lined up. Or do this and have red lined up. If I could get someone onto this row, like specifically this square, maybe that would do something. This still isn't the answer, right? Because yellow's not positioned correctly. Oh, this is perfect, except it can't be yellow who's here. Okay, can I get someone other than yellow here? Probably. All right. I'm just going to leave getting to that level for now and declare this a victory on liftoff. Do I now have the tools to get here? I don't think so. I sort of thought I might, but... Huh. I thought going here would teach me about the gray mask on this penguin. And that would, oops, somehow let green go here. Oh, well... So now that this level no longer locks me, maybe that's interesting? I don't think it is, though. Now, I think we needed it to not be red who does this, right? We need someone to step on C again. And it could be red if I did this. But I think I need to let these beasts out. It's like I have to get C a cane, or green a cane, but I can't. Right? Could I extract one from here? I don't see like a special exit node. Those have been the ones that have previously clued me into how to extract an item. I can't get through these gray penguins, I don't think, to have green pick up this cane. And even if I did, I couldn't get through this. And if I'm in here with a cane, yeah, no amount of struggling will get me out. Was there something else I could do at a level above this? No. Well, maybe. But not to help me progress with the transition puzzle, I don't think. Maybe. Yeah, I'm kind of lost on that one. So I found a way out of this puzzle, which is nice. I don't have to do that again. I didn't solve this one, whatever it is. Because I couldn't, well, I couldn't get to it. Forget about solving it. That's not really any good. I don't know. I'm going to declare a pause on this one, and I don't really know how I'm even going to pick things back up in the next episode. There's no path forward for me right now. I'm pretty sure you can't solve these unless you smuggle in a new tool for blue. Or you can't even get to these. So you can't push blue up with any of the rockets, any of the tools I have right now. They're all rockets. And you'd need to do that to get him into this row without killing him. So like I said, if he comes with a spring or a bomb, I think are the ways you could get in there. But to do that, I would need to get blue over here? Which is impossible. I don't know. This mask has got to do something powerful that I don't understand yet. This is like a gray penguin with a mask, right? But it looks pick-upable in a way that I guess this bomb on red kind of looks pick-upable as well when he's not selected. Yeah. I can't solve this level because I can't get green to stop here. He needs a cane, but I can't get him a cane. I did it. Yeah, so even through walls it works. So we need to make sure we enter this teleporter facing south, not east. And that gets green here. Okay, so we can actually solve this today. I think. Whoops. So the first person in here needs to face south at a time when green is here. Like so. Except I first have to get blue in position here. Yes, to kill red. Okay. The grays are all celebrating. That's very nice, guys. And look, this one's it's glowing. You can smuggle out whoever you get to that spot. Which could be, I think, blue with a cane, maybe? Or something? Yellow with a cane? I mean... Could be red with a cane. No, because then he dies. Right. But we could do that. So I can get red with a cane out. Okay. I could import red with a cane. Now I have 2 canes. Is that interesting? Probably. Because now I can get yellow walrus with a cane out if I wanted. Okay. What else could I do? I brought in yellow with red with a cane again. Can I get blue with a cane out there? Probably. Okay. Now, why can't I just import the blue walrus? Oh, because it's not an item. Only importing with items counts for something. I think. Can I export red with a bomb? I probably don't want to, but it seems like I ought to be able to. Yeah. I see. And so some of these I could now try bringing in here. I would have to export them again, but how would I mean, I'm not sure how useful they would be. I can get a cane in here. Red with a cane? I could import into, like, foreboding, maybe? But I don't need that. And how about over here? Again, to get here, none of those tools seem interesting. And in Moonwalk? Oh, I never did this one. Okay, I guess we have a lot to look at next time. I'm glad I finally figured out how to solve that last puzzle. Or to solve the liftoff puzzle itself. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.